Today we talk to a truly unique woman. Haneen Zoabi is a Palestinian who is also an elected member of the Knesset in Israel. Far from being an obedient token Arab in the parliament, she seeks a true democracy that offers justice and equality for Israel's Palestinian citizens. She accuses Israel of being a racist and apartheid state and refutes Israel's claim to be the only democracy in the Middle East. Haneen Zoabi was on board the Mavi Marmara, the Freedom Flotilla ship that was attacked by Israeli special forces in 2010 that resulted in the deaths of 9 men, including a US citizen. For her participation in the Freedom Flotilla, she had parliamentary privileges removed, including being able to join in debates or voting on parliamentary committees. She received death threats and had criminal charges preferred against her, which were subsequently dropped. We join her now in a packed public meeting in Dublin City organised by the Ireland Palestine Solidarity Campaign, where she addresses the question of Palestinian identity in the Jewish state.
Israel says it's a democracy. Well, let's check if you are a democracy. You controlled our education system. You tried to impose another identity upon us, a very strange identity. They call it Israeli Arabs. We don't know what the meaning of Israeli Arabs. But even today in the Irish Times, I said, I'm not an Israeli Arab. I am an Israeli Arab. I am a Palestinian. You must write Palestinian, citizen of Israel. But he wrote also the journalist Israeli Arab. It's a very strange expression. And we said, we were not a British Arab within the mandate. We didn't call ourselves British Arab. Nor Britain has called us British Arab. Why suddenly now we are an Israeli Arab? We are Palestinians. So we take our citizenship seriously, we take our nationality seriously. We struggle for a full equality with the Jewish citizens. We want a normal city. We struggle for a normal state, which means equality and freedom for all the citizens without any advantages and privileges being guaranteed by the state for the Jewish citizens on the expense of the Palestinian citizens. And we think by this we are making a huge historical compromise.
Okay, one thing that we hear people like yourself saying, particularly, and this is something that would irk a lot of Americans and the Israeli lobby in America, is the word apartheid. Is Israel apartheid? And if it is, how is it?
By apartheid you mean giving a control for one ethnic or national group upon other ethnic and national group. This is what apartheid is. Then Israel, yes, is an apartheid state because there is a group of laws which has been formulated the way they are formulated in order to give advantages for the Jewish citizens in terms of land, using the land, controlling the land, budgeting, national identity, the education law. All of this deny the Palestinian citizens their basic rights, deny the Palestinian citizens their identity. Even there is a Nakba law, Nakba, which means the Palestinian catastrophe. This Nakba law is punishing any institution which commemorates Nakba by freezing its budgets. Now, the education law doesn't allow me, and the education policies don't allow me to study my history, don't allow me to study Palestinian literature, and they oppressed any expression of my identity and of my history. Land confiscation, various laws regarding land, make sure that the state confiscate the land from the Palestinians and make use for the exclusively for the Jewish state Jewish citizens by building, for example, 1,000 cities and villages, all of them for the Jewish citizens. We now live upon 3% just of our land. By the admission committee laws, I am forbid from living upon 60% of the land inside Israel. So it is classical apartheid law. I wonder what you would call a law which prevent specific ethnic or national part of the citizens from using 60% of the land or from using the sources of the state. If this is not apartheid, so I don't know what's apartheid about.
And then my final question then is the AIPAC and the promoters of Israel in the United States would use you as an example that you being a Palestinian, you're a member of the Knesset, therefore Israel is a democracy. Is Israel a democracy?
If democracy is the tyranny of the majority, then Israel is a democracy. But I don't think that this is what democracy is about. Democracy is equality between citizens, and Israel does not guarantee equality between the Palestinian citizens and the Jewish citizens. Israel is doing all what she can do in order to secure a Jewish majority. Israel trying to Judaize also the land, also the landscape, also even to rewrite the history and to rewrite the geography in order to say that there were no Palestinians in 1948 and that Israel did not expel 85% of the Palestinian people and that it was an empty land and that the Jewish come to an empty land without any indigenous people, without any people, and they just discover this empty land and they just use this empty land. Well, there were Palestinians upon this empty land, and the land was not apparently an empty land. So, by having more than 32 laws, which de jure discriminate against the Palestinians, not just de facto, but de jure discriminate against the Palestinians. By having Palestinians with 50%, more than 50% of Palestinians under poverty line, not represented in governmental position and in public sector and in the private sector, underrepresented in the universities, underrepresented in the budgeting, not the state doesn't guarantee them the resources, whether land or even water or even budgeting or even the infrastructure, development of industrial areas, and in addition oppressed their identity, oppressed their national identity, and in addition persecuting them when they struggle for their right. So absolutely this is racism. This is what in democratic theory they call it racism, not democracy. Now when I struggle for democracy, when I struggle for equality, when I struggle for justice, when I struggle to live in a normal state, within a normal life with the Jewish citizens, the state described me as a strategic threat. So what's really threatening Israel is a democracy. Democracy, real democracy, is a strategic threat for Israel.